All right, what's up, guys? So apparently I don't talk enough, and I've been told I need to talk more, so I'm introducing the podcast today. Welcome to the All Drive No Drop podcast, but what episode are we on?
47.
47. All right, Jacob's the host, and I'm merely the co-host. I'm the co-host for a reason. I don't like talking that much, but that's probably all the words I'm going to say today, so sorry about that, guys. Jacob, great
All
to
right,
have you
that's enough
here.
from David today.
Yeah.
That's all we need to hear. Just kidding. Look, I'm never gonna silence him. If David can go off anytime, and I'll just like, I'll listen. But yeah, episode 47. We're gonna get into it today. Next week podcast is gonna be a little late. Got a little vacation stuff going on, so no normal Monday morning, just in case you're looking for it. But today is your lucky day because it's on schedule. We're going to be talking about some new foam paddles. I mean, of course, you've got these bad boys coming out this week, the Selkirk Boomsticks, if I could say it right. GX2 Powers are already out. And then these new ones from Engage, they got some foam paddles. This is going to be their first jump into... I don't believe they even have Gen 2 paddles, right? I know they're
No, they
not
don't have Gen 2.
no Gen 2, Gen 3, jump into straight Gen 4. I don't have all the details about what is inside there, but it is all foam. And if they don't tell me, they're gonna make me cut it open. But I believe they're going to just they're gonna get the information for me before I resort to the drastic measures of cutting it open. It's hard to cut it open when I want to play with it still. But
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
If you don't
Anyway,
do it, Dustin's going to do it, so.
Dustin's definitely good. I'll send it to him and he'll do it. So yeah, I'm interested to see if anyone cut open the boomsticks because I was like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to cut over a $333 paddle. Like
Yeah,
it's
especially if they're like
hard.
brand new.
Yeah, I don't think they were sending out extras to cut open. So that one we'll see. I don't think it's really a mystery either. We've seen it's kind of like the Honolulu design where it's like two different foams, but this one's just a circle. Not the interlocking pieces. So all that good stuff, and then just before that, man, now I forgot. Hold on, David. What did you do this weekend? What were you doing?
Oh, I actually was sponsoring a tournament. So there's a new company that's kind of starting up called Koto, and they just had a local tournament. So I got to stop by and run some paddle giveaways. But it was a pretty cool event there. It's at the normal place I record, and normally it's like a really small place, but they opened up the garage and then just had the party leaked in the parking lot. So I show up. There's like a DJ blasting music. There's Hennessy. There's hookah
Whoa.
out there. I was like, oh, I thought this was a pickleball tournament. But the vibe was just wow. They had a DJ and everything. And funny thing was, I saw someone using a fake Eola Perseus Pro 4, and which is coincidence with like, because I came out with that Timu video, and I had a lot of people. It was a bit of a controversial video because a lot of people were telling me that oh, it's the same thing. And I saw this guy play with it, and some people said it was like, yeah, it's like basically the same thing. And I didn't even play with it, but I just listened to it. I was like, it sounds like a Gen 2. The sound's not even the same. Like I feel more validated in my opinion now. But yeah, it's just a thing where like some people are just like, yeah, it plays exactly like the actual one. And but then you say that to someone like us that have like hit so many paddles, like I can just tell from listening that's not the same paddle. But anyways, that was my weekend. Did you do anything?
I mean, hold on. I have a question. So the
Yeah.
company that threw this tournament that was the facility, or this is just what does
Oh
the company
no.
do?
I think they are doing like it's introducing like youth to like new sports, something
Okay.
like that. I was just like a kind of like a last second paddle sponsor, just running some giveaways. So gave away some of
Okay.
the Hudeths, the Apex Pro 2s, because there was like a mistake with the shipment, so I ended
Yeah.
up with five of them. So I was like, I should give some of these away.
You came up with, I don't. How did that happen? I mean, they just
Well, it
kept
was
sending
like
them.
so he sent me two at first, but then the USPS lost the package, so then he sent me another three, but then USPS finds the package, so then I had five. So I'm
Oh my
keeping one for
god.
myself, and another four like, oh, I should let some people have these.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. I mean, it sounds like a fun atmosphere. You didn't play in the tournament then?
No, I think I had a lot of
Okay.
people asking me, but I purposely showed up in flip-flops because I was like, I'm not
Okay.
playing
You didn't want to
today.
be forced to play last second. You're like, no,
No.
I'm no last
Actually,
minute sub.
Pickleball Will was there.
What?
Yeah, we had
Okay.
no idea each other were gonna be there, and I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here? That was funny.
Did he play or he's just passing
Oh
through.
yeah, he played. My friend Danny, as a joke, as a tournament sponsor, because basically this is more of like a fun tournament. So I
Mm.
think that basically they were like only like two levels, and that like 4-0 and above was like the second level. And then so Danny was like, "Can me and Will play in?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I wasn't sure if he didn't know who like Will and my friend Danny were, because like they're obviously not 4-0 level. So they just went in and just like steamrolled everyone.
Oh,
Took the
okay.
gold medal.
I was thinking he would might have done like some type of gimmick where he had to play with a Pickle paddle, or maybe he had to play left-handed.
Uh,
Played with like a wood paddle. Do
that
something
would have made
different
more
if he was gonna
sense.
crush everyone.
But
Yeah.
he was shouting out his brand. I don't know if you saw like his My City paddle he's coming out with.
Yeah.
It's his like
Yeah.
Gen 3 paddle.
Yeah. I did see it. I think it's pretty cool. I saw he posted about it, and I didn't see a Detroit one, so I lost all interest after that. So,
Yeah, I think
but
the ones I
I
saw were pretty cool though.
I did
The
suggest
London one's
Detroit.
really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think people that want to rep their city, and I think it will relate to sports fans too that already have a city or
Yeah.
that they rep for all their teams. I think it's pretty cool. I could see myself repping a 313 paddle, which is the Detroit area code, so that three like just an idea out there for him if he wants to.
I've got the OKC one just because that was the only one he had at the time, so I don't even have the
Okay.
DC one. I've got
Okay.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it's cool if you make a paddle that's like at that top tier, and then you have that customizable where you can have different city logos and stuff on it.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I think that not enough companies experiment with their colorways, and I think that can make a big difference.
Yeah.
If someone's looking for a tiebreaker, like I like this paddle, I like this paddle, but wait, this one has all a couple different options here for colorways, and especially if it's customized for your locality, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, yeah, I will look forward to trying out if they come out with the Detroit City paddle. But what the thing I was looking for, so uh, I got message. My friend Carol is playing or is in Puerto Rico. She's from Puerto Rico visiting family, but she ran into a fan of the podcast, and
Oh,
a couple of fans actually, two brothers and one of their brothers' wives. So shout out to Alfonso who messaged me saying separately saying he met Carol, which I was surprised he actually recognized Carol because I'm like, I mean she's been in some of like my reviews and gameplay, and she was on one podcast doing an interview from Puerto Rico. But I was like, man, he must be a super fan. So shout out to Alfonso and shout out to Carol. We're out there playing in Puerto Rico where the game's growing. So maybe one day we can go down there. I know they've had, a Puerto Rico Open before. I don't know if they had it this year, but that would be a fun one for us to go to next year,
yeah, for sure.
possibly. Have you been before to Puerto
No, never
Rico?
been.
Okay.
No.
I think that would be a fun trip. I've heard a ton of good things about, going there. So that'd be a cool one to you got to have an excuse to be like, hey, we got to go there for pickleball, right? And then,
Yeah.
extend it into a vacation.
As long as their bars stay open longer than Grand Rapids, I'll be happy.
Hey, speaking of Grand Rapids, I had a light strike today.
I
My
saw that,
wife,
yeah, your
my
story.
my wife bought some, and I was like, all right, I'll drink one, for old times, because she never got to try it, so she was interested after I told her about it, and it's a smaller company, so could be a good opportunity for a sponsorship opportunity. Just
Yeah.
well, I don't know, like, so you hit us up, whatever. We could drink one
I'll
every
send that
episode.
email over.
I we would not have a problem drinking one once per episode. I think we could manage it.
Yeah.
So, and then one other thing I wanted to talk about. I don't know how much you saw about. It wasn't this weekend. It was the past weekend, but it kind of brought me into like there was a situation where some of the owners were starting to, and this isn't like the first time it's ever happened, but some of the MLP owners have been bringing in their own fans. Some usually, I'm not gonna say always, but usually college students. We all,
Mm.
we all know those college students can get a little rowdy. I was pretty rowdy myself when I was a college student. Uh, but maybe they're crossing the line. Some of them like are flipping people off. They're getting intel about some past, relationships. They're getting, information that only some of the players might know or some of the people that work in the industry might know, and they're using that while they're playing.
Mm.
Do you think that should be off limits? Like, where's the line when you're a fan and you're heckling? Like, I think the heckling should be allowed, but where's the line? Where's the line, David? That people want to know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of tough because it's like there's that side where because this pickleball is like such a new sport, and then it kind of comes across as boring to a lot of people, and then people are trying to bring in that excitement. So all that chirping because you're so close to each other, and then like because all the venues are so tightly packed, like one part of pickleball's identity right now in the pro scene is there's that chirping back and forth since you're so close to each other, and then everyone can hear what you're saying, and then plus the fans are right there and like heckling you. So I think that's kind of part of the identity now. But I think what you're saying kind of, you know, I think at that point that starts to cross a line a bit once you're like yelling personal things out there that like, it should be more about like what they're doing on the court and not what they're doing outside the court. That's how
Yeah.
I see it. Unless they're doing something really bad, then yeah, maybe they should be called out for it. But, I think that should be a bit off limits. And speaking of that, like, isn't there like that guy with the whistle? Was that the Phoenix Flames owner that's always blowing the whistle? I feel like some of these like celebrations are, getting a bit out of hand. I think it does need to be toned down a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that no one should be allowed to have a whistle like in the stands, the any coaches, anything.
Yeah.
Get the
No
whistles out of here.
vuvuzelas either.
No vuvuzelas. I mean, I don't even like the cowbells. I think it should all be, personal vocals. Keep the instruments out of it. You need to bring the vocal because it's part of it's just kind of part of the fans. Like your fans have to have that certain energy, but if you bring an instrument you can kind of get away with less energy because you can make a lot of noise with less effort. I want the fans to
Yeah.
have to put in the work. But yeah, the personal stuff, that's a tricky one because you don't even know what's real, right? Like you don't know what's real these fans are saying, but more I do think the heckling should probably be more of like, oh, hope you don't miss this shot. Not
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not saying that's even a good heckle, but more pickleball related, not like, oh, I heard about your past relationship didn't go so well. Like I don't that's probably too far. Probably should just escort them out. That's not and especially I think it's because when you involve other people than the players, I think that's when you're taking it too far. When you're including
Yeah.
their family or their relationships, I think that's just that's taking a little too far. That's including other people that aren't even on the court. It's not really fair to
Yeah.
them. So I don't like to see that. And then, but on the other hand, like you're saying, where it's a new sport, we need some of that drama. We need some of that action. When you have the players and the fans interacting like that, and they're battling back and forth. Like for some reason, Riley Newman's popping into my mind. Like I know he's like gone at it with some fans, Staxford. That stuff always makes like Sports Center. It makes news. That gets the buzz going. So I don't think you want to take away that interaction the fans have with the players, especially while we're so close, right? In
Yeah.
in the other sports, football, basketball. I know basketball you can be close, but even when that happens, when you get those interactions of basketball, they always go viral if they're good enough. So I think you want to keep that for the sport. And like when we were at MLP, we could talk to the players if we want. We didn't do it, while they're on the court because we don't want to get in trouble. But if you're a fan in the stands, you're close. They can hear what you're saying. You can impact the game. They can definitely hear you. So it is always going to be a factor. Like you're not going to stop these people from talking unless you want it like tennis or golf, where you're like, hey, you got to be quiet while the point's going on. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky because you're always going to have a gray area. So you're never going to have like it's just you're never going to have a set list of rules to make it like a referee could be like, oh, you said this, you're out. It's always going to be a judgment call. So weigh in on that, guys, everyone.
Yeah.
That's
Because like heckling is should I think and it should be a part of the game because it's like it's the same concept of like how everyone there's like home and away teams during like for other sports and like you just have to have that mental strength to really push through it. So it's just part of the skills you need as a pro player. You need to have a thick skin while you're out there.
yeah. I was thinking, all right, I might have to save it for next episode. I know people have been asking for a giveaway. We'll do a giveaway. I just don't know which paddle it is. It's going to be some paddle. I'll give you an option. I'll give you like five 5, 6 options. We'll do a giveaway on whoever gives me the funniest heckle they heard, because I'm just curious. So whoever gives me the funniest heckle, we'll let David decide.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. We'll both decide. I'm like make David read all the comments.
The thing
Uh,
is, like, because it's on your channel, so you actually get the notifications.
I
I
do
have
get
to
the
keep going onto
notifications.
yours and
I'm
then
gonna.
scroll through every
How about
time.
this? I'll pick the top 3 that I find the best, and I'll send them to you, and
Okay,
you
that's
pick
fair.
from those.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have to go read through all of them. All right, and yeah, so we'll do that for the fans. Now we are moving on to the first segment. Honestly, it could have been a segment, but it is what it is. What the pickle is? How much money is too much money for a pickleball paddle? Was it inspired by this paddle? Maybe. I don't know. Could be. You can connect the dots if you want to. And for the audio listeners, I just held up the Selkirk Labs Boomstick paddle. Never forget the audio listeners. So, David, how much money is too much money for a pickleball paddle? Go.
My cap personally is gonna be $200. I think anything beyond that, with the way technology is now, like unless you're coming out with something where the grit and core are lasting a long time, um, I don't think you should be spending above $200 for a paddle, given its like lifespan is so short. So yes, there are paddles that like are touting it, like Infinity Grit is like touting like can last a long time, and then um, but at the same time, like these pros are using these high-end paddles, but they get them for free, and for us, like we have to keep buying them, and if we're buying them every like 3 6 months, that's another like $300. That cost adds up. And even like that 6 months is 3 6 months is only like that's really generous for like the core and the grit. Like that could even last like max like 1 to 2 months. So if you factor that in, like $200 times six, 1,200, like that's already quite a bit of money, quite a lot of bit of money. So yeah, I personally wouldn't go above that. So I'd say 200.
Yeah. Uh, do you remember how much the first Ben John's Hyperion was? Was that 280 at the time? I can't remember how much
No,
or was it two?
that was around 200, I
Or
want to
was it around
say.
200? Okay, because that's the first like expensive paddle that I bought. Yeah, if you want to look that up,
I actually have that because I shot a video, and so I
that's
have the
yeah.
price listed.
So I
Just
guess
grab.
whatever that price was, I can't say higher than that because I did buy it, and that was at my peak. Like I was hooked on
219.
pickleball. There you
It was
go. I think
$219.
I got a discount too, but we'll say all right, 219. That's my price limit apparently because that was the highest I ever bought. I was just hooked, and honestly, today, I used to play tennis. I used to bowl, and you know, I I would probably say it would have been 300 for me, on a racket, a ball, or a paddle. But man, 333 starts to make me go, ooh. And then, I mean, really, you're looking at the next is Yola, which is at 280, and some other ones are at 280. Oh, yeah, it's 333. I think 300 is probably the realistic limit for me if I was, really chasing performance and I'm like, oh, I think I can get, if I wasn't reviewing and I was just like kind of looking at the market, like, oh, I really want this, I really want this. But yeah, it is a lot, especially when you put it like that. You have to refresh, every 2 months, 3 months, depends how much you play. I know some people, they have two paddles, but they're rotating through every month on warranties. A couple different brands I know, but the people that play regularly that are playing like 5-ish times a week that are in that 5-0 range, they'll cycle through paddles in a month, no problem. And that's usually because they're breaking it, not because of the grit, but the grit has a little bit to do with it too. So at the end of the day, I guess I'll say 300 is too much for me. Uh, but I guess I've never spent more than 219. So let us know. And that's a hard one too for us to balance because some people tell us in the comments are like, never talk about the price. I only care about the performance. And then other people are like, what about the price? You didn't mention the price. Well, we always talk about the price, but it's tough for us to balance, and everyone has a different budget. So at the end of the day, I got to factor in performance and price. And if you know, and sometimes I'll say like, oh, if money's not an option, this is what I do. Or if I say, hey, you can save $100 and the performance is like 5% less, then I would go with this. And for me, I would go all day. Like if the performance is only 5% less and there's $100 difference, I'm going with the $100 cheaper paddle all day. I mean, it's not that
Hell
big of a
yeah.
deal to me. I'm not trying to go pro, so it
Plus,
depends
you
what
got
you're
two
trying to do.
kids, so
Yeah,
you got
I
to
got
factor
two.
in the that
I got two
part.
kids to feed, so come on, you gotta feed the kids. Let us know in the comments how much is too much for you.
Nope.
Um, but anything else on that topic?
Yeah, yeah, I don't think so. I think funny thing was you said 220 is the most you spent. I think mine was probably 200. That was the original Gearbox 614s.
Yeah,
My first paddles.
yeah. I mean, who are we kidding? I would have ended up buying the Paddle Tech or the YOLO Pro 4 and stuff like that probably. So that's why I say 300. I don't think I would have went over 300, but maybe I'm wrong. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping I would have done. I don't know. All right. Moving on to David's question of the week. David, what's that question?
All right, we're gonna do a simple one this time, but we've talked about control paddles going extinct, but do you think edgeless paddles would go extinct? And if they do, how would you, what do you think companies could do to make them more relevant if they could bend the rules?
If they could bet, well, I'll
Yeah, I think
address the.
that second part's kind of tough.
Okay, let me address the first part. Are edgeless paddles going extinct? I think that they're already on the endangered list. Selkirk's not making the edgeless paddles anymore. They've already, they've already switched. Their Era has the edge guard. Their Boomsticks have the edge guard. Gearbox has been making their paddles with the edge guard now. The
I think that was
GX2,
the last one holding out was Gearbox.
GX2 Power. Yeah, we have these companies that have been fighting this trend. They thought they were so cool with the edgeless paddles, and they do look. I'll admit, I like the edgeless paddles. Looks better, but they were really fighting against the trend, and they've went back. If they've already given up on the edgeless paddles, I just don't think that edgeless paddles are here for the stay. I mean, you just don't get anyone really loving the edgeless paddles. I know there's some Selkirk holdouts on these Power Airs and Luxes, but I don't know. I mean, even with the look, like it looking nice, it just gets damaged so fast, or people end up wrapping it in edgeguard tape. So you don't even get the benefit of it looking good. It's only going to look good if it's up there on the wall and it's not used, right? So what's the point of it looking good if it only looks good not being used? Now, the second part of the question, I think you could do some type of internal weighting that would replicate what the edgeguard does, but that probably just ends up being more expensive to make, and maybe edgeless paddles already have such a negative connotation that it's not worth doing, because then you have to try to educate people that you know you already weighted it, but internally, but people like to see things, and it's just kind of hard. But that's my answer. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned, like Selkirk and Gearbox are the last ones holding out now that they're gone. Like no one's really making them. Funny thing was like I had a company ask me, you know, they asked for some like advice on how I would rebrand their edgeless paddles, and I basically told them, just don't do it. Like stop selling this paddle, make one with an edge guard.
Oh,
Um,
dude, rebranded.
it's just like I don't know. I just felt like they're like sending me all this like stuff like you mentioned with like the internal weighting, but I guess like some of the issue there is like because if the weight's like inside the paddle rather than like outside of it, like then you're getting like the weight is closer to the core than it would be if it was like on an edge guard, and then
Uh-huh.
that's what like your twist weight's not going to go as up as much, and then you start seeing these paddles like some of the ones that this company sent me where they had a bunch of internal weighting inside, but the twist weight was just terrible. Like I mean, it wasn't terrible, but like it was like the swing weight to twist weight ratio was just so bad because the weight was inside rather than like outside of the paddle,
Uh-huh.
and it was just and I tell them like the paddle just feels fine, but it's just why would I buy this if it's gonna cost more for you to make it edgeless? But I could buy something else. So yeah, I think there's really no point in like getting an edgeless paddle anymore. Like previously, it used to be like, oh, there were like kind of control paddles and you could customize them the way you wanted. But now you have things like the C45 coming out, and this is already customizable. It's already light and it's got an edge guard.
Uh-huh.
So like, why would I get an edgeless paddle for any reason? Like the throat hole isn't really doing much. It's just removing weight, and then I have to add more of my own like later. That you can already do that with paddles with edge guards, and they already have like better swing weight to twist weight ratios. So yeah, at this point, like I think they're gonna be gone. But in terms of, how you could bend the rules, honestly, I don't even know how to answer this one. Like I kind of just thought about that as I was asking this, but like maybe like if they could have some different type of core, I guess. Maybe like a different core material that could like make the sweet spot somehow better. But then at that point, it's like if you had that core, then like there's a possibility you'd make paddles with edge guards extinct. So I just don't think there's a way to really make edgeless paddles like stand out anymore. I just think it should just be done.
Yeah, shut them down. It's over. Edgeless paddles, you're gone.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the one thing is like some people I play with, like at like the people that don't watch stuff like this, they just have like a specific feel that they like. And like edgeless paddles have like this really hollow feel to them. They kind of like feel like plywood. And to most people, they feel like crap. But then like to some of these people that just been playing with it like their whole lives are just like, I need this edgeless paddle. Like I
Mm.
don't like the feel of the edge guard. But I think that's such a rare use case and they just need to get used to learn that there's better paddles out there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's just that they're so used to that feeling. But if they get, some people won't give enough time to a paddle. They'll play with it for not even a game, and they're like, "Nope, it's terrible." And I'm like, kind of got to give it more time, right? So they'll never
Yeah.
change. They just want to keep using the same paddle, which is fine. You can keep doing that. Obviously, our minds can't comprehend it because we're like, why would you want to use just one? Why
Yeah.
not 100? But yeah, maybe there always will be a market for edgeless paddles just because there's some hardcore users. Maybe there's a spot for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Selkirk will probably be the last maker of edgeless. I could see it. They like their design, so we'll see. Any more thoughts on those edgeless?
Nope. I'm curious to see if anyone thinks of a way to balance them out, but at this point, I think it's a lost cause.
Yeah. Well, then it's not fair to the other regular paddles either, I think,
Yeah.
because you're not really. It's not the same as the control argument where you're not getting the power, so you're getting another thing. If you're not edgeless, or if you're edgeless and you get a new core that could be more powerful and make the sweet spot just as big as the edge guard, then you're kind of making the edge guard paddles extinct. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, moving on to the quest to find the best pickleball paddle, brought to you by Bodhi Pickleball, maker of, all kinds of pickleball accessories, grips, tungsten tape, arm sleeves, performance shirts. They make a lot of good stuff. Been using the dry grips all summer to keep my paddles from slipping out of my hands, which they tend to do sometimes. Yes, look at that Bodhi grip. I'll tell you, when it gets really humid, I need to like use the powder, the LeBron James powder. Its name slipping my mind right now, but like rock climbers stuff use it, and this helps cut down on using that. But when it's 90s, like my hands are just sweating, so it's just there's not much I can do. Do you feel me on that, or is that not a problem for
Oh,
you?
I don't go outside. I play indoors.
But just never mind. He
I'm
doesn't
bougie.
go outside.
I need like
Indoor only, air
I need
conditioned
consistent
only.
climate, like the consistent conditions when I'm testing paddle. So
Oh my gosh.
that's my excuse, but it's also I don't want to go outside because I'm lazy.
I mean, that's probably the best way to do it, but not every facility has air conditioning yet around me. So
Oh wow.
I know they really need it. It's unbearable to play inside during the day in some of these facilities with no air conditioning.
Yeah, like
And then
Doug's facility too in
some of them
Florida.
have big fans, but then that creates like a wind, some wind in there with the big fan. So
Hmm.
another problem. But anyway, we have first up, which I know, there's probably going to be a ton of reviews on this, but we'll just maybe I'm going to touch on some stuff that probably won't be in my review. exact. Well, whatever. It could be. I don't know. So these boomsticks, right? You got a wide body and an elongated. $333, like I was saying. You do get a gift card for $33 when you buy it with a code. Uh, but you don't. I guess that's fine because well, it's not. It would be better if you got the money off, right? Obviously, getting the money off is better than a gift card, but at least you get something.
Yeah.
Also, these things don't really leave ball marks as much as the peel ply, right? Like this
Yeah.
has your in my grit level has felt the same since I've had it. I don't know if it's felt the same for you,
Yeah,
but it
mine
feels
feels the same.
so. I'm starting to believe that the Infigrit might be true. Uh, I think these weights, I think I might have said it last time, but this is more like this is something, and I guess like you were saying, it is farther outside, so it's going to increase the twist weight more than if they put it on the inside.
Mm.
But it's more, I think, so I guess it is purposeful, but I know it's more for show. It's for show as well. It's
Yeah.
serving two purposes, and I guess they're actually not the first to do this because I think that Diadem, they kind of had that edge guard weighted
Yeah.
system as well. So someone already did something that was different with that. So someone already, they already did like the weighted, and I guess obviously the Adidas had their removable weights as well. So it's not the first person to put weight on the side that's kind of permanent. But yeah, I mean these just are super poppy. I had trouble at first controlling these, and you do get used to it, but like the pop, like it just pops off the face so fast, especially if you tend to have like maybe like a jerkier motion or a bigger swing. For me, like on the rolls, that was where I was having trouble the most, was on the rolls. I was having really good serves and drives, no problem, but some of the rolls were going a little too far. How'd you find it? Like, what shots did you like? What shots did you not like with it?
Yeah, I think last time I talked about how my like wide body was hitting different, but I
Yeah,
found the secret.
you
Oven
step on
preheated
that?
at no oven at 300 degrees. Through this, no, I'm just kidding. I just hit it a bit more, and then like eventually I just felt the difference. Like, oh,
Okay,
I think it was a few days ago when I started hitting it again, and I was like, oh, now I feel it. But I think it was just maybe extended use or something. I don't know what happened, but now this finally hits hard. But the last week it did not feel good. But I I don't like this paddle for balls where like I need to really like grab the ball.
hmm
I feel like it's gritty, but I just don't feel like I grab the ball as well as I do on other paddles. I don't know if it's because of like how poppy it is, but it just feels like it doesn't pocket the ball too much because it is like such a poppy paddle. Especially like this wide body one, but like when I'm trying to go for like topspin dinks, like when I'm trying to grab it and then like roll the ball over, I just didn't feel like I could do that as well as I could on like a Pro
gotcha.
4 or a GX2 Power. But like, overheads, putaways, they feel great on this thing, but I just feel like my topspin shots and like my drops too, when I'm going for like a topspin drop, like my forehand, just didn't really grab it as much as I hoped. And I don't like again, I don't know if it's because it's poppy or if it's because of the Infinigrit. And maybe that gives it a different feel compared to the peel ply, but I don't know. I'm personally just like, yeah, I think it takes a bit to get used to, is what I
Yeah,
think.
I it definitely has a steep learning curve. I did find that for the drops, if I like shortened my motion a lot, I was actually having more success. And I did
Mm.
find some scenarios where I was more off my back foot, and that pop really helped because just could get a shorter motion and not have to put as much into it. So I could see this just having a really high learning curve, and like if I had enough time to main it, which I really don't have enough time to main it, testing all these paddles, uh, I could see it being really good. And I'm sure some 5.0s are just gonna blast some balls with it. But I would say it's gonna be one of the harder ones to control. I know people aren't gonna believe it. They're just gonna you know they're gonna play with it
They're still
anyway.
gonna get anyways, yeah.
I'm telling you, it is a higher skill level. I think is needed, or at least a higher, maybe not even a higher skill level, but just more time is needed to get used to it. And I did
What do you
get some
think's
swing
harder to
weight.
use? What do you think's harder to use, the flick or the boomstick?
I think it might be the boomstick. I don't.
Yeah, I'm with
I
you on that. I
I
think the
think the
flick's easier
flick.
to use.
I think the flick. I got accustomed to faster. So yeah, I would say had an easier time using the flick than the boomstick, which you wouldn't think would be the case. But yeah, I think it was. So, and I did get some swing weight ranges from Selkirk on these, so I'll just put those out. The wide body goes from 110 to 114, although I did get a higher swing weight at 115 for my wide body. I think David got a higher one too.
Yeah.
But, it can always happen. Twist weight range on those wide bodies, 7.9 to 8.5. That's interesting because we usually don't get twist weight ranges. We'll usually get swing weight ranges. So I don't actually have a good frame of reference to compare if that's a normal twist weight range. I would say that it's net a little bit wider, but it kind of makes sense as you're getting up to these higher numbers and you have these weights on the outside
Yeah, I
that
think
you
the weight's
are
on the
going to get.
outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to get a bigger range in twist weights as you have more weight because what are these coming at 8.3 on the wide body? I think mine was at and 8.4 for the elongated. So the higher weight you get and the higher twist weights you get, you're going to get bigger ranges. Either way, the twist, I don't think stability on the wide body is ever going to be an issue for these paddles.
Yeah.
But so elongated swing weight 116 to 120. That one checked out. I had 119. And then twist weight 6.9 to 7.5, which is probably the highest twist weight range for an elongated paddle I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
pretty high.
I don't think I've ever had an elongated paddle come in at 7 twist weight until
No.
this one. Right? Have you? I don't
I think
at
small
stock?
yeah, the one most similar would be like the Stinger MC1, but that's because they had like weights down here, like pre-built on the
Okay.
inside. But yeah.
I don't even the company's called Stinger?
I think so. My channel, I review a lot of like small random companies, and that's one
Okay.
of them.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I mean anyone could get a 7 twist weight on their
Yeah.
elongated if they wanted to. They just have to want to. So, yeah, I think that this is interesting, and I'm interested to see what they do if they make this production run, because they haven't really taken a lot of their Selkirk Labs paddles lately and made them productions, right? I think it's been a while. I
Yeah, because
don't
the
even,
last one that went to production, what even was that? Power Air?
I think, because this is, I
Oh,
mean, you had,
Lux.
yeah, and I don't know if was that the 003?
Yeah, the 003 became Lux.
So
Oh,
nothing since then has went to production
yeah, because like
for
the
their mainstream.
008, 007, 6, none of them,
And
because
I don't
everything else was SLK.
and I don't even remember if the 5 was something that only the pro like some people got. I don't remember much talk about the 5. So I mean I gotta imagine this one's gonna go to production with some slight tweaks though, for sure. I could see
Yeah.
that. Because they haven't done anything with the projects going to paddles lately, and this one seems to be the one. I'm interested to see how many pros will switch to this over the era and see what because I could see some preferring this over the era, like maybe Jack Sock or something.
Are these
But
even like UPA approved? Like, can you use these in PPAs?
I
This
don't
is,
know. Yeah, it does only say USA Pickleball approved. So, but I gotta imagine because right now they do everything like temporary approval. So I don't know when that goes into effect for their full. It's hard to follow what they're doing. They it's a different thing, and it doesn't really matter to most people because unless you're playing pro events, but then if you're playing pro events or pro qualifiers, you probably already have your company that you're with, and they tell you what to do for your
yeah.
paddles. So I'll just leave it to them. Any other thoughts on the boomsticks?
I thought I was gonna say something, but now I guess I don't. I
Well,
guess I lost it.
take a second. I'll talk about how they go live
Oh, actually,
for.
no, I got it.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Have you been able to put like a cap coin or anything on this thing? Like, are you supposed to like
I
take this off?
if you did, yeah, I would think you would have to take this off because it's raised, right? So this S on there is raised. You would have to probably take it off because there wouldn't be enough surface area for the adhesive to stick to. I don't
Do you
know if
know
that
how to
comes
take
off.
this S off? Because I was trying to.
I
I was
don't
trying to
know.
shoot a video for Braden for his little cap coin thingies,
Yeah,
but this thing
I
wasn't
don't
coming off.
know. I do know though that on the Honolulu's, if you put the cap, so I put his speed cap coin on the J7 NF,
Hmm.
and it took the end cap off the J7. So I guess you are supposed to take those off before you put the cap coin on. Just for anyone that is about to make that mistake, as I did, because I ended up actually hitting someone as it flew off the paddle. So just
Oh,
be careful.
yeah.
Be careful out there. Take it off if you can, because the weight of the coin can peel off the logo and go flying. So
Okay, good to know.
yeah, good to. So August 11th for the labs members, I'm sure they're getting spammed with emails about it coming out, and then 14th for the general public. The sale goes live at noon Eastern, the best time zone. And on to the Gearbox GX Power Series, which I wish I had time to hit more this week because I wanted to hit it again, but I didn't have time. But David's been out there blazing in the streets because I had been considering using this elongated as I have a tournament coming up in like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, should I use this for the tournament? But I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to switch back. Just try to switch over and try it. So probably sticking with the Honolulu's for now, but I really do like it. Did you get some time with the elongated on this week, or is it
Yeah.
all hybrid?
I did both actually. Mainly just I want to get more better feel with them. But
Uh-huh.
one of my interns really wanted to try out the hybrid. So his thing is he really likes plush paddles, and then he just keeps
Okay.
wanting like I want a plush paddle with more power. And so originally he's been using the NFTI, and then he was like, "Is there anything with more power?" And I was like, "You want to try my gearbox?" And then he hits it, and he's like, "I did not expect it to hit that hard." And he's like considering like, oh, it feels good, but it's just now it's too poppy. So now he went back to the NFTI. But
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
can't make him
uh,
happy.
all right. But yeah, for the GX2 elongated, this is one of those that you do need to spend some time with. I think out of the box, I don't know if you felt this too, but I just didn't think it hit that hard, and it took me maybe like 3 to 4 hours. That's when I started to see that power that people have been talking about. Like it's just deceptively poppy and like powerful given like how it feels. Now it's that plush feel, but it's not like I think it's still different from the original GX2s. Compared to that, it's not as plush feeling, and it actually kind of a bit more hollow. The more this breaks in, it has more of a hollow feedback, but like the feel off the face is still soft. But overall power level, I would say right now I would put it side by side with the Yola Pro 4. Might get hotter, but I think as of now, I would put it as a tie between the two.
Mm. Yeah. So I was wondering something that when all this talk about leaving your paddles in the sun can, especially when they're foam paddles, can kind of heat them up, or maybe it breaks them. Who knows if it breaks them in? I was wondering. Sometimes my paddles might sit on my porch for a little bit, and they might cook in the sun a little bit. The boxes might come a little warm. Are my paddles coming pre-broken in? Because sometimes they are sitting there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm like, maybe I don't know. Because for me, for the gearbox, I was like, all right, they were already powerful when I was hitting them. So I don't know. Who knows? But it sounds like they're at the same level yours are now. So I guess, and they haven't. Nothing's got out of control. It hasn't like kept heating up and heating up like some paddles in the past. So I think I'm okay.
That is
But it is
interesting though, because with the Selkirks, mine were sitting for like 8 hours. Because basically, I went to the office and get home till like later, and so they're in the sun in that little briefcase. I don't know if that
uh
affected anything.
Yeah, you would imagine that briefcase might cook them even more too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do they need to start shipping these in coolers with some dry ice to
Yeah.
protect our paddles? For a $333 paddle, I feel like that service should be available. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, these GX2 Power Series, I'm interested to see if people adopt them. I know that some people have kind of been out on Gearbox. I haven't seen a ton of Gearbox paddles at the courts lately, but I think that this one has a pretty good chance of becoming popular. Especially like you were saying, people want that softer feel for these power paddles. One of the better options for a softer feeling power paddle if not the best. I don't know. It depends. It depends how soft you want it to feel. But anything else on the gearboxes?
Nope. It's nothing for
All
me.
right. All right. Honolulu NF Series. I know it might feel like an overload. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's, doing it. I will say, after hitting everything this week, the boomsticks, some of the engages, and then all these other power paddles in the past, I still think I play the best with the J2 NF. I just
Okay.
have to decide if I'm playing better with the long handle NF or the short handle. It's kind of, I think it might not just make a difference for me just because my two handers really not essential to how I play. I do drive two-handed backhands. I haven't, I'll take two-handers out of the air, but I will default to one hand if it starts getting intense. Like, I'll just not remember my left hand exists, and I'll just be like,
Mm.
I'll be flicking out of the air. I'll do one-handed swinging volleys. It's really hard, and I know I should try to do the two-hand swinging volleys, but like my one-handed swinging volley is really good. So I don't know. It's hard. Anyway, David, what do you think about this NF series? Which ones were you hitting this week?
Mainly hit everything but the J7. And that's
Okay.
mainly because like I guess for me I need to lock in like what shape and style I'm hitting. And then it was like, okay, I mainly gotta hit the J2, the long handle, and the J3, and then if I throw the J7 in there, like for me it's just like I could have all these thoughts, but then like I feel like I would confuse myself because then I wouldn't play as well switching around between all those different shapes. So I
Hmm.
figured like I'm just gonna lock in J2 and J3. So those are the
Yeah.
main two ones. I like the J2NF long handle a lot. I think that one's really good. The J3 I thought I would like more. I just think that one's just surprisingly poppy, at least mine is. It's poppier than I thought it would be. And I think I personally just liked being able to modify the J2NF long handle, and I like that little bit of extra reach on that one. I
Hmm.
like that shape a bit better than J3, so I would take that over the J3. Um, and then at the bottom I would put the regular J2NF. So that's my ranking.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I I'm still unsure what my if I were to rank them. You put the gun to my head right now. You make me rank them. I might still go with the J2NF regular, and then J2NF long handle, and then J7NF, J3NF. I'll give the people what they want. I'll rank them like that for now, but it could change. I'm not 100% locked in on that. I honestly could play any of them in the tournament. It'd be fine. I just like the feel of the whole series and the consistency it gives me. Um, I think for people looking for a wide body that's more like one of the it gives you an offensive option. I think that J3NF is really good. I think that's a good shape. It's kind of like a standard
Yeah.
wide body shape. It really, I don't think there's a reason to change that shape. I think that's probably the optimal shape for a wide body. Is that 16 by 8 for me anyway? Uh, but yeah, it's just a great series, and I'm interested to see. You know what one would actually be really interesting to see is the J7 NFT. I'd be interested to see that one.
Hmm.
I think people would like that one. I don't know if he's
I
gonna do it, but
my thing that I think you should do, get rid of the J1 and J4 shapes and turn one of them into an like a regular elongated shape, like a
that
5.5
that
inch
would
handle. I
that
think
would be
that would
nice too. I think making a regular elongated. Although I was surprised how much I didn't really feel like that big of a difference when I was playing the J7 compared to a
mm,
regular elongated. Did you? Are you? I guess you got
haven't
to
hit
get
it
some
yet.
more time
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, it didn't feel too big of a difference for me, but I tend to hit more up and down up and down on the paddle than side to side. So that's probably why I didn't feel too big of a difference.
Because that's
So
what Apes basically did. Because their old one was like 16.6.
theirs was
Their
17, I think.
oh 17. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their
Well, I guess
original
theirs was
elongated.
yeah. Because they went back to the X shape, the
Yeah.
Harmony X. So I was wondering if Honolulu wanted to get rid of some of their they have like three shapes that are kind of weird. It's like the J1, the J4, and the J5.
I
I want to
think
say.
that they're probably phasing out those
Yeah,
shapes.
I think
Something,
they need to go back to like a regular elongated
yeah.
just for making it
I
just
I think they tried it, and I don't think the sales were doing too good on those shapes. So I think they're slowly phasing them out. Yeah. Anything else on the Honolulu NF series?
nope, nothing else on
All
there.
right. All right. Let's move on. And this is going to be briefer, but I just want to introduce these because I don't have all the information yet. But they are going to come out sooner rather than later. They're going to come out in August. This new Alpha Pro series from Engage, and yes, no more target on the paddle. They're removing these targets, looking a little cleaner. Got the gradient edge guards. I don't know exactly what the difference. They have a Pro series and just a regular Pursuit Alpha series, but you can see that they're all foam. So they went all in on the new design. They got the gradient edge guards. They got the all foam. They went from Gen 1 to Gen 4. And like I said earlier, we're gonna get the details on it. So far, they're making these in 14 and 16. I believe they're the first ones to come out with. No, strike that from the record. They're not, because Selkirk came out with the 008s that came in different thicknesses for foam paddles. But 14 and 16 millimeter for foam. So not everyone's been doing the different thicknesses for the foam. Usually it's just been one. Really gritty too. So far, I had two different experiences with them, so I kind of want to get another session before I give more thoughts. The power level was pretty good on the 16. I just want to get another session in there because I had two like completely different play sessions with it. So I don't know if something changed in the paddle. It was an off day for me. I want to just go out there again. But those are coming. I know that there's some. I still see a lot of engaged paddles. There's some hardcore fans out there, so they are ready for the step into the next generation here.
Yeah.
But that's all I have on that. Just a little sneak peek. Hopefully, we'll talk about that more next time. Moving on to the Element 6 paddle.
The
If
Surger.
if you, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to get persecuted by people that I can't pronounce the acronym right. I don't know if it's an acronym. It's not even an acronym. But why is it all capitalized if it's not an acronym? That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, David, what about that Element 6 SUTR?
This actually gets better the more you play with it. I think like initial impressions, I think we talked about like we didn't like it as much, but I think guys also have to remember that's a lot of paddles are hitting, so we don't get to spend like hours with each paddle when we get to talk about them. So sometimes it's just like, oh, we hit them for like a game or two and just giving you some really quick thoughts just so you guys have an idea of how we feel. But now that I've got like a few more games with this one actually starts to feel nicer. I believe this one is that like it's supposed to be similar to a Ripple, I think, in
Yeah.
terms of the construction. So this one, like the more I hit this more I'm starting to feel that power and like the face feels a bit better too. It's not a stiff feeling anymore. I don't think this feels like a Ripple. I was kind of did try to hit them side by side, but didn't really feel like one. But I think it does have a bit of its own identity. So this one I'm excited to hit more. And then the Incendio, that one's I think out of the three, that's probably the least exciting because that's basically a 14 millimeter Gen 3. But did you get the Zephyr? I don't think
I did
many
not.
people. Okay.
No.
Yeah, because Dr. Christy Price was the one that was telling me about this one. But I think this is actually like a full EPP core. Based on what she says, this is basically like a hybrid version of the Body Helix Flick.
Okay.
Uh, so this one I hit for like one game because I remember last week when I was hitting these three, this was my favorite out of them. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to talk about them, but then now that they're actually on sale for pre-order now, but I hit this one and I was like, I like this better than the other two, probably because I like the flick so much. But yeah,
Okay.
these are more to come on these. Now that we get some more, now that I have more information on them.
All right. Well, check out those Element 6 ones. Sounds like a pretty good one. I know people would love a hybrid and wide body flick
Yeah.
F1, so which I think they're coming out with soon anyway. But good stuff going on at Element 6, and love their passionate fans that they have. Love to see that passion. Uh, any other paddles or topics you had for tonight?
Uh, I think we're is that the last one we had talked about?
I believe so.
Okay. I guess I thought you said we were gonna talk about our current mains.
Oh yeah, sure. I was like, I guess I didn't put it in the notes. Yes. What is your current main or mains right now?
Okay. So I think this is gonna be changing soon. But right now, and what I said last month was that enhanced 4.5. Um, and like I said about that paddle is it's really nothing special. It's just it sounds so bad whenever I say that, and whenever people ask me like, "Why are you using that one?" And I was like, "Well."
Nothing special, but that's what I do.
Yeah, it's just like what like you asked me like, okay, what are you bringing to a tournament? I'm like, well, I'm not gonna bring something like crazy different feel that I'm not like comfortable with. So I'm gonna bring something that I'm familiar with and that I pick up like this is what I want. This is what I'm used to. I understand this paddle, and so that's what the enhanced 4.5 is. Plus it's foam, so supposedly it's gonna last longer too. So it's like, okay, well, this is affordable price. Like considering price and durability and just how I feel when I play with it, like. This is like a paddle I can see like if I had to start, if I go to tournaments, buy my own paddles and everything, like that's the one I would go for. But
Okay.
I feel like I've been playing more and like I want to say I think I'm getting better at the game, and so I am looking for a bit more firepower in my game now. So I think I'm gonna start transitioning potentially into playing more power paddles. I think I've just been hitting so many power paddles recently, and the more I've been playing with them, I feel like I not as bad as I thought I was back then. Like maybe like a couple months ago, I was hitting power paddles. I could not dink to save my life with them, but I think I'm getting control down better. So eventually, I'm gonna start that search again and try to see which power paddle I want to go for. But enhanced
Okay.
4.5 for now.
Okay. Well, I think you could say that it excels at predictability and control. Like it's not like it sounds like you have amazing control with it, and it makes you feel confident. So it's not like it's nothing special. That's what it does special.
Yeah.
It makes you so confident in your shots because of the control it gives you. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be the way I would spit it. I did like it too. That's how I felt with it. Just you could play shots with it. It just does everything you want it to do. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, still the Honolulu J2NF or J2NF long handle. And it's weird because I thought I was kind of before these NFs came out. I thought I was transitioning to probably maining an elongated paddle, but I just play so well with these NFs, and I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to give more time to the J7 NF because and like you say, it might be better if it was a standard elongated shape. But maybe I'm just a hybrid player at heart, and I can't change it. I don't know. I thought I was going to go elongated. I know I'm not a wide body player anymore. Like I know that it's not going to happen. It just I can't. I hit it off the tip of the wide body too much. Like I just can't do it.
I mean,
But yeah.
imagine if you were shorter. I mean, you're 6'4", so imagine how like a short person feels using a wide body.
Yeah, I guess I would have to change how I play.
Yeah,
It's not
look at
like
Pickleball Will with a wide body. Would that be fun?
yeah. I imagine he used this in elongated. I can't see him playing with a wide body. I probably could play less aggressively and play with a wide body, but if I was in that role, I could see myself like if that was my role for the team, and I'm like, hey, I'm on the right side. I'm going to play Colin John's role and just kind of be over here. But would I really be happy doing that? Probably not. I could do it. I could do it for a tournament, but I'm not going to play like that every day. I just can't do
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still the NF series. The two hybrids for me right now. We'll see if something can dethrone that. I mean, I just it hasn't been that long since it's been my main, so it's not like I have to switch, right? Like, what is it? 3 months is the limit? Is that how long we have that we're allowed? I don't know.
Yeah. But, is this limit for like how long we can have a pal or
And
for
that's just your person. That's your personal limit. It's just a personal limit.
uh
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, right now, since I've had like a tournament or an event every month, and that's why I haven't kind of wanted to change either. It's been easy to, have that as my main and just, I test everything, but I can come back to that. I know how it plays. I play well with it. I feel more confident in my shots and feel more confident in like what the paddle's capabilities are. And we'll see if I switch. Probably locking that in for my tournament in 2 weeks. I don't think I'll be changing just because I'm going on vacation. I don't have enough time to lock in another one. So that's the main. I know it's not an exciting answer, but that's what it
Well,
is.
neither of us gave exciting answers. So.
Well, I mean, I guess what is an exciting answer if we're changing it every time? Is that
Oh,
what
let's
makes
say
it
the
exciting?
Onyx Hype X is my new main.
What?
That would shake things up.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's other stuff coming up, and we'll see what we end up changing. David's going to change soon. It sounds like he's
Yeah, I feel
going
like we're
for the
changing soon.
max power. We'll see. But yeah, that was our current mains. I think that wraps us up for the week. Any final thoughts, David? Anything coming out this week that people should be on the lookout for?
I think people have to see me slowly start doing this stuff, but one thing I've kind of been doing is like, we do a lot of pickleball equipment reviews, and
Yeah.
slowly I'm starting to like venture into not really reviewing, but like taste testing other products. And I think some of you may have seen me try out like different electrolyte drinks or like protein powders. That's something. I don't know if anyone's ever curious about that, but kind of looking into seeing like, oh, these are things that like indirectly affect pickleball, and things that like I would try. So want to let people know like this is what I would take and what I wouldn't take if I was getting ready to go on the court. So in case
Okay.
anyone's interested.
Sounds interesting. Um, I should look into that stuff too. I did watch some reviews on like electrolytes and stuff, and honestly just forgot everything I learned. But I should know what I'm putting into my body.
I think
It'd
you're getting
probably
a
be.
shipment soon, right? From the 5.0. He just sent us. I think I
I
spoke
think
with him.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be good to try out some more electrolytes. I don't have any of those type of I guess I'll talk about that next time I try those 5.0 electrolytes. I'll have a review on the boomsticks, and I'm working on a Honolulu NF Series review for all the other shapes. Besides that, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's next after that, but we'll have a podcast out later in the week next week. And we might skip it. I don't know, but we'll probably have something later in the week. We'll do it. We'll do it.
All right.
But that's all I have to say, David. Any last words?
Nope, I'm good on my end.
All right. Peace out, guys. See you later.
You guys.